Well, hear this from the Nürburgring. This is the official weather forecast. Mist, fog, showers, thunderstorms, sunny spells. In other words, they're covering their options, and it's not surprising because the Eifel Mountains can and will throw anything at you at any time.
The 1999 European Grand Prix at the Nürburgring was one of the most eventful races in Formula 1 history, and it seemed at some points like nobody wanted to win it. Coming into the weekend, Ferrari's Eddie Irvine and McLaren's Mika Hakkinen were tied at the top of the Drivers' Championship with 60 points each. Heinz-Harald Frentzen in a Jordan was third, 10 points off the top, and Mika Hakkinen's teammate David Coulthard was 12 points off the top in fourth place. Before qualifying, it had rained, so the track was drying throughout the whole session. Heinz-Harald Frentzen took his second ever career pole position, 0.2 of a second ahead of McLaren's David Coulthard. His teammate Hakkinen qualified in third, but title rival Eddie Irvine was all the way down in 9th place. Now here's a look at the rest of the grid. And keep a close eye out because almost every driver plays a role in this thrilling Grand Prix.
As the cars have got virtually identical performance and the drivers are the best drivers in the world. And the higher up the grid you get, the better they are, and therefore it is even more difficult to pass. What's your guess?
I think Irvine may have made a very smart move as the way the weather's turned out with the harder tyres. We'll see. I know the softer tyres, they tend to go away quite quickly. They were using them yesterday. I mean, Frentzen's pole position really is courtesy of them doing a racing stop at the end of, just near the end of qualifying, putting on a fresh set of tyres. But they're going away quite quickly, and although then, as they lose their grooves, as they effectively lose their tread, if you like, they start to get faster again, more rubber on the road. Irvine's so far back, though, can he actually make anything of that? That's going to be his problem. He's got some good cars in front of him. I have to think that the McLarens could have more sheer pace than Frentzen and be putting him under an awful lot of pressure, and there's no doubt about it. Hakkinen is the fastest man around here this weekend on a bone-dry track.
Yeah, fastest on both sessions on Friday, both sessions yesterday, except the one that matters, of course, the qualifying session. He was fastest in the two morning sessions. And the Bridgestone people, actually, just before I came into the box, said, if you're talking to Eddie Irvine, you might ask him why he's on the harder compound, because it's baffling us. They said logic and common sense indicates that he should be on the softer compound.
The start would be a sign of things to come. The 5 red lights came on as usual in a normal starting procedure. However, they failed to go out, meaning multiple cars jumped the start, although they were not penalised because the start was aborted. This was due to Alex Zanardi and Marc Gené lining up in the wrong grid box, as you can see at the top of the screen. This meant the cars did an extra formation lap and the race was reduced from 67 laps to 66 laps. The second start was just as eventful as the first start, with Hakkinen jumping his teammate David Coulthard for second place. Further down the order, there was trouble for Damon Hill's Jordan, who suffered an electrical failure right in the middle of turn 2, in the middle of the pack. This caused Alex Wurz to swerve around Damon Hill, and he clipped Pedro Diniz in the process, whose Sabre flipped and landed upside down. Luckily, Diniz was uninjured, but it could have been a whole lot worse because it was later found that his roll hoop failed when he landed upside down. The safety car was deployed for this incident, and all 3 drivers involved retired. This will be the only safety car of the race, which is quite surprising considering the amount of retirements and incidents that we will get into later in the video.
Stewart's away very slow. Now let's see the action. Look, Diniz going around the outside. Oh look, the two Ferraris got together. Look, 2 Ferraris got together. Benetton goes across and clips the back of Diniz as he's minding his own business, going around the outside.
Wurz hit Damon Hill, who was going
there, and he's going to go across. Look, from round, and now he clips. He tries to go round a slowing Damon Hill, and just clips. It's so unusual to see a Formula 1 car fly that easily. A massive just caught it in the wrong place and sent the thing skyward, Murray.
The safety car came in at the end of lap 5, and soon a 4-car group of Frentzen in first, Hakkinen second, Coulthard third and Ralf Schumacher in fourth opened up a gap on the rest of the field, where Eddie Irvine was making good progress. Then on lap 11, Jean Alesi and Alex Zanardi came together at the final corner, causing Zanardi to stall his engine and retire, which amazingly didn't cause a safety car, with marshals clearing the car under double waved yellow flags.
Magnificent Ralf Schumacher still hanging on as we look at Jean Alesi in the Sauber.
So that'll be Zanardi at the back, Murray. He was last. Yeah. Remember, he went across the grass before the safety car came out, and Zanardi may have stalled the engine. It moves forward slightly, in which case
safety car?
It could well be the safety car there. That's a difficult place to get a car out of the way from, although everybody else is around the other side of the circuit at the moment. But looks like Zanardi tripped over the back markers as he tried to make his way back up to his rightful position.
So Mugen Honda powered Jordan leads the Mercedes-Benz powered two McLarens with the Supertech, basically Renault engined Williams of Ralf Schumacher still in there in fourth position. Two Germans, first and fourth.
Yeah, I can see marshals out of the window here. I can see marshals on the racetrack in the last corner, Murray. So there we can see it now.
Yeah.
What are they going to do with that? They can wave double yellows, but look, it's stuck in gear, and we're going to see the engine now. He's trying to take a pair of them at the time, look, and
Zonta.
He actually managed to hit both of them.
Yeah, that was Zonta that he was involved with, and Takagi, who so very often gets involved with racing accidents in the Arrows, and somehow or other they've got the car clear. Well done.
Well, they've done it under waved yellows, so let's hope they get away with that one. Oh, now there's a truck on the track, marvellous.
On lap 17, Eddie Irvine managed to pass Giancarlo Fisichella and make his way up to 5th place, and he was now 8 seconds behind the leading 4. Moments later, the rain started to fall and the umbrellas started to go up in a grandstand, and Ralf Schumacher used the conditions to his advantage to pass David Coulthard with a fantastic move, just missing the back of Mika Hakkinen, to make his way up into 3rd place.
Most confidence is Ralf Schumacher.
Goes through, passes David Coulthard, or does he? David refuses to yield. Schumacher on the inside line. This is what happened on the previous lap, and once again David Coulthard just nudges ahead of the determined German, and they're both having a go at Mika Hakkinen. Oh, this is incredible, and Schumacher's pass.
Ralph's very late into that corner. Well done, he stopped well. I had a feeling he was going to slide straight into the side of Hakkinen. So late on the brakes.
Did you hear the roar from the Mercedes-Benz mashed grandstand there on turns 2 and 3 as their countryman Ralf Schumacher moves ahead of David Coulthard?
And this is Ralf Schumacher getting a run at Coulthard and then just going desperately late on the brakes, and I was nervous he was going to snatch a wheel and go into the side of Mika Hakkinen, and Mika Hakkinen wouldn't have known what had hit him. He had no idea Schumacher was coming up.
Due to the damp conditions, many drivers were making mistakes, and race leader Heinz-Harald Frentzen couldn't slow his car for the final chicane and went straight on across the escape road, but he managed to continue and keep the lead. At the end of the same lap, there were a couple of pit stops that would be important for the rest of the race. First of which was McLaren. They brought in Mika Hakkinen for a pit stop and put on the wet tyres as the track was continuing to dampen. Ferrari also pit, but instead of bringing in championship contender Eddie Irvine, they brought in Mika Salo to test the tyres for a lap first. On the next lap, they did pit Irvine, but by that time the rain had stopped falling and there was confusion in the Ferrari garage. This meant the tyres were not ready for him when he pulled into his pit box, and he had an enormously long pit stop while Ferrari were deciding which tyres to put on his car. They eventually chose dries, but not before receiving some iconic criticism from Martin Brundle. Have a listen.
And I think there's enough dry track out there to tippy-toe around the dodgy bits and just put up. Now, what are they going to put on this? And that looks like another set of slicks to me, James.
It is a set of slicks, absolutely extraordinary. When Salo came in a moment ago, they had both slicks and dries ready for it.
Right rear.
They're not ready on the left rear. There's no tyre. Right rear, I beg your pardon, there's no tyre here.
I've never seen anything like it. There's no tyre to put on.
Oh, I thought we had one when the race started, he's saying. Well, this is ludicrous. This is
now
blown.
They're going to have a committee meeting about it. Stick it on and send him out.
Well, this has blown it for Irvine, blown it for Ferrari. I don't know what's happened, but there was a major misorganisation problem there. Eddie Irvine came in 5th, and he's going out behind Jarno Trulli, who was in 7th position. He's lost a vast amount of time.
The track continued to dry, and Hakkinen was overheating his tyres. At one point he was 7 seconds a lap slower, in the leaders, and he got overtaken by Eddie Irvine even after his long pit stop. And then on lap 24, McLaren pitted Hakkinen again, this time to fit the dry tyres, and he emerged in 14th and a lap down from the leaders. Ralf Schumacher pitted on lap 27, leaving Frentzen and Coulthard battling for the lead. They both pitted on lap 32 and emerged in the same order. At this point, both Hakkinen and Irvine were well out of the points, meaning if the result stayed the same as it was, Eddie Irvine, Mika Hakkinen and Heinz-Harald Frentzen would all be tied at 60 points at the top of the World Drivers' Championship, with only 2 races to go. However, after exiting the pits, Frentzen stopped on track and retired from the lead. At the time, the Jordan team blamed an electrical issue for the retirement, but it later came out that Frentzen had forgotten to turn off the anti-stall system after his pit stop. This then left Coulthard leading, with Ralf Schumacher in second place.
Frentzen and Fisichella has exited the pit lane. Frentzen stops. He's lost the prop on turn 3. That's his race run, and Eddie Jordan is gutted. Both his cars out of the race, and that is the end of Heinz-Harald Frentzen's chance of winning and getting 10 World Championship points. That 4th position.
It's bucketing down, Murray. Absolutely bucketing down. Look, and Ralf Schumacher's that's behind Hakkinen. Ralf Schumacher now still behind Coulthard in second place. But look at that. Where did that come from?
On lap 36, the rain got much heavier than it had been before, and some drivers came in for wet tyres, but neither of the leaders decided to pit.
Oh no, Coulthard off the road.
David Coulthard has gone off. Wow, my God, this is unbelievable. Schumacher leads. Fisichella is second. Barrichello is third. Johnny Herbert is fourth, and Villeneuve is in 5th position, and Eddie Irvine is in the points. Remember, I said watch Ralf Schumacher. Well, Ralphie is making my forecast come true as off the circuit plunges Coulthard.
Turn 4, he just snatched a brake on the way in, ran wide and just couldn't prevent it. Look, he stalled the engine and he's only going to nudge the tyres. If the engine was running, he might be able to reverse out of there, but the engine is already gone, and that is David Coulthard's World Championship chance gone in a heartbeat.
Coulthard's retirement meant that Ralf Schumacher was now leading, with Giancarlo Fisichella in second, and both were still on the dry tyres. At this point in the race, Mika Hakkinen had effectively given up and was 2 to 3 seconds slower per lap than the leaders, but Eddie Irvine had made his way up to 7th, 1 place off getting points. Then the rain started to ease off, but Ferrari decided to pit Irvine for wet tyres. I guess some things never change. On lap 44, Ralf Schumacher pitted to fit dry tyres, and Giancarlo Fisichella inherited the lead. Then there was another retirement. This time it was Tora Takagi, and this incident again demonstrates how rare safety cars were back in 1999. There wasn't even a safety car when there was a tyre rolling down the track.
The wheel's going to have a little run of its own down the racetrack anytime soon. I hope that's not going to cross the racing line, but I suspected do a little bit of a right and get out of the way, please. I think it's going to be all right.
Well, there goes David Coulthard, Hakkinen goes past the wheel. He's perfectly all right. As Tora Takagi retires from the European Grand Prix. Of the Benetton and the Ferrari fighting it out, and then it's Fisichella.
He stalled it too.
He's out of the race. He's out of the race. Schumacher leads. Giancarlo Fisichella retires the Benetton. We don't know what happened to him.
I think you'll find he's gone off somewhere. So, well, he's obviously gone off somewhere, but I think you find he's gone off by himself. It doesn't look like a technical problem. He's too far away. He's got to, maybe gets on the throttle too early or whatever. Yeah, look, we saw him go over there earlier on, didn't we? It's the second time he's been across there, except he's got much more of an acute angle. In fact, now he's completely sideways. He's going to go off the road backwards, and I think the engine has already stalled. We will now never know whether that car needed to come in for fuel or not.
Next, it was heartbreak for Fisichella, as on lap 49, he spun out of the lead and stalled his engine. This meant that Ralf Schumacher again was the race leader.
On the seeing a race victory again disappear. He lost one. That is Rocco Benetton, the top man of the Benetton team, and he is obviously as distressed as Fisichella is. But meantime, here's the man. Here is Ralf Schumacher, with Jarno Trulli now in second position. Johnny Herbert is second, I'm sorry. And off goes Schumacher. I can't keep up with this
from there, but I'm a bit concerned as to why the left front is up in the air. He's got a puncture. I think he's got a puncture, right rear puncture. The left front was up in the air.
Right rear?
Yeah, he's got a right rear puncture. It's clear to see now. And so Ralf has got, I don't know which corner it was, how far he's got to get back to the pits. It looks quite a long way from home.
Johnny Herbert leads the European Grand Prix. Are we going to see a Stewart victory in its third and last year of Grand Prix racing before it becomes a Jaguar? It would be magnificent if we did. Remember, Johnny...
Is that Johnny taking the lead now, look? I think
yes!
Johnny takes the lead of the Grand Prix.
Johnny Herbert leads at the Nürburgring.
Schumacher's puncture meant that 4 drivers had lost the lead within 17 laps. Did anyone want to win this race? Well, one man did, the experienced Johnny Herbert, and he was now the leader for Stewart Grand Prix. He had a large lead over Jarno Trulli in second and Barrichello in third, and Luca Badoer in the Minardi was fourth. Minardi hadn't scored a point for 4 years, and Irvine and Hakkinen were both still out of the points.
Ahead of him of Rubens Barrichello. This is Badoer out of the race. Marc Gené moves up a place into 6th position in the other Minardi. Luca Badoer loses a potential world point disgustedly, throws his very expensive steering wheel out of the cockpit, and Eddie Irvine is gaining on Marc Gené for that one World Championship point, and he is followed by Mika Hakkinen, who is catching the Ferrari. This race, the developments never cease to amaze me. We're on lap 56.
It's 4th place, of course, he's just lost. So 3 World Championship points and what would have been a stunning 4th place in a Minardi out of the window for Luca Badoer. And now the very fashionable
doing a Hakkinen. Yep. Luca Badoer, knowing what has happened to him.
It's just soul-crushing for Minardi and for Luca Badoer. That gearbox failure means he's retired from 4th and denied his first ever points in Formula 1, and understandably was left in tears. Badoer's teammate Marc Gené was promoted to 5th with Villeneuve retired late on, but he was being caught by Hakkinen and Irvine, who were also battling between themselves, while Trulli and Barrichello were battling for second.
It means that Irvine and Hakkinen are now definitely scrapping over a World Championship point, but can Barrichello make it a 1-2 for Stewart Ford?
And Marc Gené is only 2 seconds ahead of the battle between Irvine and Hakkinen now. The Spaniard is losing his grip on that 6th World Championship point.
I think it's 7.3, isn't it? Gené was 2 seconds behind Villeneuve as they went over the line, so I think Irvine is 7.3. There's the Ferrari over the chicane. Hakkinen takes the place. Hakkinen takes what will be 6th place as they go over the line. Well, I'm looking down on it from a great height, but yes, I was right. Hakkinen takes that position. Irvine went scampering across the chicane, outbraked himself and moves into a World Championship point.
And a World Championship lead if he finishes where he is now by 1 point at the present moment. As Jarno Trulli on lap 64 out of 66 implacably, look at Paul Stewart, he's at the nail-biting business now, and Trulli and Barrichello together again at the chicane as they go through and complete their 63rd lap, and here is a replay.
Yeah, this is Irvine just completely braking too late, locking the front left, as you can see, takes to the escape road. Hakkinen remains on track and gets good grip out of there, and that's a pretty serious lock-up, Eddie. That's a bit amateur hour, I'm afraid, to keep your foot on the brake like that so long. You normally got a bit of cadence braking, you can get rid of some of that, but looking at his mirror thinking, no, he's going to pass.
Just to recap, Jacques Villeneuve.
That Irvine mistake meant that Hakkinen was now in 6th position, and he soon caught and passed Minardi's Marc Gené to finish 5th.
Points, and Irvine 4.4 seconds down on Gené now. Can Irvine catch that Minardi now and get himself 1 point?
Here is Johnny Herbert in the Stewart. Johnny Herbert in the Stewart turns into corner 13 and takes the checkered flag to win. And there is Jackie Stewart. Well, oh, words fail me. Now is Barrichello going to take that second place? I don't think so. But first and third would do very nicely indeed for Stewart. What a fantastic, what amazing development. Barrichello is going to finish third. So Stewart finished first and third. Johnny Herbert wins the race. Trulli is second, Barrichello is third, Schumacher is going to be fourth. Who is going to be fifth, sixth and seventh?
That's what I want to see. Can Irvine pass Genet on the last lap and get that point? Will the Italians ask Genet to move over and give Irvine that World Championship point? So there's fourth place, man.
Schumacher.
I want to see down the road and see whether Eddie
Here's
Irvine...
Hakkinen.
Yes, so fifth place will be Hakkinen. Can Irvine take Genet on this last lap? He was two and no, I don't think he can. He was 2.5 seconds behind when he started the lap. So brilliant drive from Herbert. Well done, Herbert. Jackie Stewart, Paul Stewart, the whole team. But Hakkinen over for two quite unworthy points in my view. And Genet for a brilliant 1 point. Seventh for Irvine. And well, that puts Minardi ahead of BAR in the World Championship.
A dramatic race from start to finish, and Johnny Herbert was the victor for Stewart. This was their only win before they became Red Bull. And that's it for me for the end of this video. I really do hope you enjoyed it. And leave a comment if you think I missed anything out, or if there's another race that you'd like me to cover. And subscribe if you want. Thanks.